And now, please welcome Countdown superfan Mick Warhurst and Countdown first-timer Tony Armstrong.
Hello, hello, hello.
Wiping the tears from my eyes. That was amazing. That was like a capsule of my childhood. It's too much. It's already too much. Hello, everyone, and
So good.
welcome to Countdown, 50 years on. Coming to you from Naarm, Melbourne, the original home of Countdown. And let's give it up for the luminaries of Countdown that we just heard from then. We had Ross Wilson, Kate Sobrano, Grace Knight, Joe Camilleri, and of course, Daryl Gateway.
Whether you're out the front with your Dan Sherber or jumping in solo as a guest host, you were a regular on Countdown. Now, I've been told, things did get loose back in the day. Be honest, how much... What do you remember about those times?
Everything was a little bit uncertain. You'd hear, "You're on in 10 minutes. No, you're not. You're on in 5.
How important was Countdown to you and the music industry?
I think to all of us, it was an outlet that came along as a surprise for all of us in bands and acts, because the coverage, as we went out to the regional areas, they would say, "We love Countdown," because it tells us where the bands are playing. And that was the only communication they really had.
And Daryl, I was one of those country kids who lived in a small country town, and all we had was Countdown on the ABC, and it was a lifeline. It was a portal to the wider world, and it was incredible, really, what it gave us.
It was everything to all of us. It really was.
Fantastic, and so were you, Daryl. Everything to all of us.
This is 1970s Australia.
Hello, you old bastard.
Hello there.
You don't mind being greeted like that?
No, not at all.
Gough Whitlam's PM, university's free, and Ian Molly Meldrum is about to find himself at the centre of a brand new music show. One created to connect with a demographic the ABC knew it wasn't reaching: teenagers.
An audience that seems to elude, if not actually avoid us.
Because this show's for little kids or older people, nothing for us.
Music-obsessive teenagers followed the pop charts religiously. They were on the radio, published in newspapers, and given away at record stores. Then along came Countdown, bringing the charts and that elusive 1970s teenager to the ABC.
It gives you a chance to see all your favourite pop stars. It's just fantastic.
But Countdown was much more than just a chart report. It reflected the era's developing trends in music and culture, and ended up becoming not just a dedicated follower of fashion, but an influencer. We'd love to show you the first black and white episodes, but we can't because the ABC taped over them. Then, on March 1st, 1975, Countdown had a new look.
Hello, I'm Johnny Farnham, and this is Countdown. The first edition for 1975 in glorious colour.
It was the ABC's first evening transmission in colour, and the people in charge wanted to make the most of it, with glamour, theatrics and suggestive outfits. It was a marriage made in TV heaven. But it wasn't all glam rock. Disco was absolutely pumping, there were still a few folk musos hanging around, and of course, plenty of heartbreak.
Look, I've got to get home to watch Countdown.
Countdown had a revolving cast of guest hosts.
Oh, this is Countdown.
But from the very beginning, there was always Molly.
We've got a great show tonight.
On screen, he was refreshingly informal.
Where are we? Where are we? Oh, here we are, Ian.
But behind the scenes, he took his role as talent coordinator very seriously.
It's going to be difficult to put them on Countdown, though.
Making sure the show was keeping pace with the changing times and trends.
Go and do yourselves a favour, exactly.
By the late 1970s, the punk and new wave scenes were throwing up edgier sounds and confrontational attitudes. And Countdown was right there, featuring some huge acts near the very beginning of their careers. For many of my generation, these bands were the epitome of cool, but they weren't too cool to appear on Countdown, though The Cure did have a very loose approach to miming.
lost that sweetheart.
Countdown was an essential springboard for local bands. This was an era when one appearance on national television could make or break a career. And there was a lot of pressure on Molly and the crew to give artists a fair go. Some bands, like Cold Chisel, had mixed feelings about the whole Countdown machine. Others, like Midnight Oil, never appeared.
Hi, this is Gavin Wood. Countdown Show 537.
As the 80s exploded into a fluorescent jumble of synthesizers, baggy jackets and big, big hair, Countdown was still an essential part of the landscape. And Molly was in his element, mixing with the biggest stars of the day.
And here's boring old Molly with boring old humdrum.
40 years before breakdancing was an Olympic event, Countdown showcased our country's finest. And the annual Countdown Awards were a huge deal, the precursor of the Arias.
Hey now, don't dream it's over.
But as the decade drew to a close, the writing was on the wall. It was the era of MTV and iconic music videos. Lip-syncing to your hit in a sweaty studio full of dry ice was no longer the only way to get yourself on TV.
It's time to say goodnight. Thank you, Gavin. Thanks, Molly.
In 1987, after an incredible 563 episodes, the ABC pulled the plug.
Sad. It's a shame. It's a shame that it's going.
And on July 19th, Countdown's last ever episode aired right across Australia, coast to coast.
It's been fantastic. I can't tell you, I'm going to get upset now.
It was the end of a wild ride, but the show left an incredible legacy. Timeless performances, intimate interviews, and just unbelievable amounts of fun. It brought Australia together every Sunday night, and there'll never be anything else quite like it.